ANC National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe says the party's success at the polling station does not lie with national leadership alone. Speaking to councillors in Kailicha, Cape Town, Mantashe says if party officials on the ground drop the ball, then the party will suffer during voting. Mantashe also told councillors that only thugs could stop party members from delivering services. He is leading a report-back meeting for ANC councillors in the region. Newzroom Afrika's Sipakema joins us from that councillors' engagement. Much what I've just spoken about, obviously, is a conversation that ANC Chairperson Gwede Mantashe had with many of his councillors. What else has been said?
Absolutely, Hugo. I mean, as you had mentioned that the ANC, especially ahead of the local government elections, is going all out ensuring that, and more especially within this particular province, that they have been trying to win back majority of over the years since they lost majority of the Western Cape. Now it's to ensure that they're able to win back majority in the Western Cape as the ANC. But you mentioned, Hugo, that when the ANC's national chair had spoken to the councillors earlier on, he did mention that winning election relies fully on themselves and not national. However, the outcomes at national are dependent on them. Now we're going to bring in the ANC's national chair, Gwede Mantashe. Thank you so much, Mr. Mantashe, for joining us on Newzroom Afrika. I think you've been talking about this since the roll call. Many were not happy about the capacity conversation, but you extended the capacity, what exactly you mean by having capacity here. I think let's start off first with some of the issues and challenges. Looking at issues like what you say, discipline would be one of those issues that councillors are faced with within various ANC wards when it comes to issuing services, like being here on time or actually even showing up to this meeting.
You see, we must deal with the myth of a DA way of governing. It's a myth. What we should unpack and break down into simple, understandable pieces is the fact that, yes, the DA is doing well in white suburbs. It is neglecting townships. And therefore, our councillors are happening to be in townships. They have a responsibility to pick up their socks and take the fight to the DA, which controls the council. That requires a discipline force. And that discipline force must take that. If I go to Samora and I walk in Oliver Tambo Road, and there's water and sanitation on the street from Ward 88 to Ward 33, I must be able to say that is the way of DA governance. And therefore, how do we challenge it and confront it? And only when we mobilize these forces to take it up, it's not yet an election campaign. We're just mobilizing our forces to take issues up and correct the quality of service that is taken to our people. That's what we're busy with. We'll come back for the elections, not now.
I mean, you just touched on something I was about to ask you when it comes to the comparison in the township and comparing the suburbs as well, but also taking into account what was said by the president, making an example of DA run, although he might have even been talking about in terms of the books, but looking at the services, when you compare services that are given in the townships to the suburbs, it's a completely different picture. The Samora Marshal that you're mentioning, we were there just last week on oversight, and the councillor was not even there. He was missing. Is this the discipline that you're talking to?
I was in Samora yesterday, and the councillor was there. Councillor Somtaka was there. That is the most important thing, the visibility of councillors and the ability to take up the issues, raise them to the attention. You know, we went to a place called Tsunami yesterday. That place has been running water and sanitation in the street for the last 3 years. All of a sudden, yesterday, trucks and front-end loaders were there. And we said, if that will improve the services, it is not my visit that is important, it is the service to the people. All we are saying to our people, discipline that is required is working together to take the fight to where it belongs. There's nothing wrong in comparing an ANC council with a DA council. And audit outcomes are important because they're about financial management. which is an inherent part of running a municipality. They're doing well on that. Then our responsibility is to pick up service delivery issues where they matter. And it is the completeness of the service provided that is important, but it is not less important to run your finances properly as an ANC council.
And also just lastly, touching on some of the issues facing councillors, would you say one of the main issues why currently the townships are looking the way they're looking, no services, water running, sewage running on the streets, the issue of projects for informal settlement developments are still stagnant. They're not even one that was supposed to start in 2013 here in Philippi is still stagnant, hasn't even started. Would you then put it to say it's because of the DA maybe sabotaging ANC wards, or would you say ANC councillors are not standing up, fighting for services of their people? What could be the issue there?
Madam Zille, see black South Africans in the Western Cape as strangers. And as far as is concerned, they are trespassing. It's not their area. He's committing a big mistake because he is blind to the history of this area. Is it the Khoi and San, who are Africans, by the way, are here and they fought here before colonization. And they were colonized, there was a Khoi and San genocide, and you will have to follow that history if you want to understand the attitude of a party to a particular area. Our people are here, rightfully so. They deserve a better service, they deserve better comfort, they deserve better townships, and they must fight for them. It will not come on the silver platter because they plead for it. Good to have good audit outcomes, service must improve in our townships.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mantashe. That is Mr. Gwede Mantashe, ANC's National Chairperson, continuing with the conversation here at Isipiwo Primary School in Khayelitsha, Harare, talking to them basically a report back of the roll call that was done on the 15th of September by the President, where they're reporting now back and giving a briefing to the councillors on what the way forward is. And as he mentioned, that majority of what was said today by himself is the issue of discipline, talking about how councillors are not united in supporting each other in their wards, making an example of yesterday. He was in Philippi and Councillor Somdaka was there alone. There were no surrounding councillors of surrounding wards to be there with him in solidarity, because you know, some of the issues that affects these wards, they ripple over to other wards. If you walk down the streets, you see that the picture is completely different. When it comes to the city of Cape Town, the inner city as well as the suburbs paint a completely different picture when it comes to service delivery. If you were to walk in the townships, your areas like the Samora Machel that we were just talking about, areas of Philippi, you see filth and sewage on the street, which is a complete contrast to what has been said. And also some of those members that we did oversight with, the members of parliament, members of legislature, and members of government from other provinces, when they arrived here on Tuesday and on Wednesday and Thursday, rather, they were completely shocked to what they found: incomplete projects that haven't been reported on, projects that started in 2016, 2013 for housing development, still stagnant and not moving forward, road projects, cleanup projects. So those are the issues that currently are being discussed, where councillors are being advised that they need to take up this fight to the city of Cape Town. And we know that currently majority being governed by the Democratic Alliance.
Siba, I fully understand that the ANC during this time is looking at issues around service delivery, but there are also other issues that impact the very wards or councillors under their own jurisdiction, issues around crime, for instance. Are those conversations being had with the ANC chairperson at this time, or is it primarily based on service delivery?
It's primarily based on for what we heard just before we had to leave during the closed session. Most of it was basically discipline and unity amongst councillors, but ensuring that they're working together. But what really matters most is ensuring that the work is there and work is being put in, no matter who is governing that municipality. I think that's what majority, Hugo, of the conversation is. It all starts with the smaller things, Hugo, like showing up at this actual meeting, showing up on time, speaks to discipline, speaks to showing that you are willing and that you are willing to work for this. And also what he said, telling them and giving them an example of when he was placed in as acting mayor for just 3 hours, and the decision that he had taken, where then it was said he will never be made to act again following that decision. But he says that it is all about having the will. That is what's important for councillors, to have the will to make a change and make a difference and also put in the work.
And that's Sipho Kema in the Western Cape having a walkabout and conversation